And his three friends, actually there were four friends, they all came and talked to him one by one. We read part of their conversation, the conversation between Job's friends and him, but it's going to continue for many, many chapters. They just talk and talk and talk and talk. And what they say is continuously, they say that if you were innocent, then you wouldn't be punished. You're punished because of your sin. And Job is like, what is my sin? I didn't sin. And that's what they continuously talk about. And his friends say, God never punishes the innocent. So you must be a sinner. And finally, now God speaks to Job. Job, God says, yes, Lord. Job. God is going to him, talk to him finally. Now, this is like an it's a book, it's a poetic book. I think it's no, it's not a poetic book. It's not a poetic book. Anyway, ignore what I said. You speak as if you understand everything, but your words lack my wisdom. I was answering their folly. Job, God says, I'm speaking to you, not them. Yes, Lord, Job says. Now he's going to question Job, because Job is like, why am I suffering? What did I do? And God is going to tell him that God's plans and God's thoughts are much higher than us. Sometimes we do not understand why things happen. And this is what God is making a point of. He says, now I have some questions for you, and I want you to answer them. Yes, Lord, I will try, says Job. When I designed the earth and clothed it in clouds and made the stars sing with light, were you there? Can you explain it, how it happened? Of course not. Have you ever shaped a world from clay and separated light from darkness? Have you strolled through the depths of the ocean? Can you set stars into motion in their dance through the cosmos, through the universe? Can you, Job? God is asking him. Is it by your hand that young lions are fed? Do you watch as deer give birth? Do you hear the cry of newly hatched birds? Do you give the horse his great power? Do you know how the hawk flies? So answer me, Job. Are you going to tell me how things should be done? And Job says, I have no answer. Of course he doesn't. Then answer these questions instead. The behemoth. In this book, the behemoth is mentioned, and it's like a huge monster pretty much. And people think that it looks kind of like a dinosaur, which proves that dinosaurs kind of existed around that time. The behemoth, with its mighty muscles and bones like iron, there is none like it in the world. None can challenge it. Do you have power like mine? Can you bring ruin on the wicked? Another monster, the Leviathan, the sea monster. And he says, the Leviathan, try catching that with a fish hook. Can you take hold of it and make it whisper to you as if you were its master? Skin like armor, chest like rock. I created these creatures, and no one can stand against them. Who then can stand against me? God is questioning Job. Job, I created the universe. I molded the earth. I populated it with creatures, great and small. I created you. Trust me. And Job says, I know that you can do all things, God. I know that you have plans that are beyond man's understanding and power. You asked who has your wisdom, your power, and your righteousness? Who was it that second-guessed you without knowing the full picture? Me. I'm sorry. So God says, answer me. And Job said, I cannot answer your questions. I'm going to be silent. And you, God, speak. That's what the conversation kind of finished. Maybe there's a little bit more. We'll look at it tomorrow. Let's read now. Gayana, sure, start.
God speaks. After Job and his friends had had long discussions about the likely cause of his problems, the Lord himself spoke to Job out of a storm. God said to him, "Who are you to question what I do? Where were you when I made the world? Who waters the dry land and who hung the planets in space?" The Lord asked Job many such questions and then gave him a chance to speak. But Job said, "I have said foolish things. What can I answer? I will not say anything else because I have already said more than I should."
Thank you, Diana. And who will read the second part? Can we ever really know God? That's the question. Atara, would you like to read that part? Yeah? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Read it. Okay, read then.
Can we ever really know God? If it were possible for you to talk to an ant, think of some questions you would ask Dan. Do you know how to tie a shoelace? Are you able to take the dog for a walk? Do you know how to add and subtract? Maybe God smiled as he looked around at his creation and asked Job about things that are so obvious and easy for him to do. As humans, we sometimes think we are very clever and very powerful. We can work out how far the moon is from the earth, and we can make powerful bombs to destroy big cities. But who keeps the planet spinning at the right speed and in their right paths? And who keeps the sun shining with the heat of a million atom bombs? We will never be able to know and understand God fully. Paul puts it like this: "Oh, the depth of the riches of the wisdom and knowledge of God! How unsearchable his judgments and his paths beyond tracing out." Romans 11:33.
Thank you, Atara. Verse for today. Let's read together. Ready, go. For who
For
has
who
known the
has
mind
known
of
the
the
mind
Lord
of the Lord that
save
he may
him?
instruct him?
But we
But we
have the
have the
mind of
mind of
Christ.
Christ.
First
1
Corinthians
Corinthians 2:16.
2:16.
Mind of Christ.
Yeah. So basically, today's lesson is that sometimes we do not understand why things happen, why God does things the way he does. We do not know exactly why that happens. But God knows, and all we can do is to trust him. If we do not understand things, doesn't mean that they're wrong. Like Job didn't understand why he was getting all those things in his life, so many problems. He lost everything he had. He lost his family and he was sick himself. Why? He questioned God. I don't understand it, but if you don't understand it, doesn't mean God is wrong, right? And God said, do you understand everything? Do you understand how the universe exists and how it was created? He can never understand it. We can never understand how God spoke the whole universe into existence. And so what we can do is trust God, knowing that he knows best and his plan is good for us. That's the only thing we can do, trusting him when we don't understand why bad things happen to good people, especially. Anybody would like to say anything?
What? Say what?
No? No, no.
Say what?
Would you like to say anything? Do you have anything in mind that you would like to say?
I have good news.
What do you have?
I have good news.
Okay. I'm going to stop the recording then.